Yeah, let me share my screen here. Okay, right. So I opened the management studio here. So you see this SQL Server Management Studio. Let me connect to my server, go to this database engine, and I'll connect to this server. So if at all you don't know what is the server name, just go to browse more. So local servers, click on the database engine and find out the server name. Say okay. And what type of authentication you wanted, I'll go with SQL Server authentication here. So by default, whenever you go with SQL Server authentication, login would be SA and password. You might have know the password what you have given while at the time of installation. Give that password and connection security, encryption mandatory. This enable this trust server certificate. Click on connect here. So here you see you have many databases available in this folder. So first step before we start learning SQL Server, first we'll try to do what we do is we'll try to create a database here. So, okay, what is database? So here database is a collection of objects or items. So those are, you can go and create a table, you can create tables, you can create constraints, we can create functions, you can go and create the stored procedures. You can go and create the views. You can go and create triggers like this and many more. You can go and create. You can go and create those objects. So these are so we'll go step by step, learning creating tables, constraint as we go on. So later part of videos will do that. So first let's go and create a database. So you can create a database in two ways. So one database you can create in two ways. So one is you can give transact tsql command, and the second thing is you can go with GUI. So you have GUI in SQL in Microsoft SQL. So we'll do it. First, let's go with the tsql command. The first thing is before you start creating anything, first we need to have a database. So when you create a database, what happens here in the backend? We'll see. So generally, database when you create a database, so it's not it you have you can create in two ways here, not 2 days, 2 ways. So you can create in tsql using command or you can create using GUI. So when you create a database, right? When you create a database, so in the backend, it will create two types of files here. It will create two types of files. What are there? So we have something called MDF. So this is called as main data file, and it is second one is LDF. So this is log data file. So this MDF is also called as primary data file also. Primary data file, or we call that as primary data file also. So let's create and see where these files are getting created, and we'll see that files also. Let's create. So what I'll do, I'll create with, so I'll give some name. So with something like, uh, I'll give something like YouTube SQL. So I'll give with today's date. Let's go. So DB and 15/02/2025. This is the name I'm going to take as a database name. I'll take that. Okay. Let's go there. So here, now where do you write the query here to create the database? So here, once you are connected to database, right? So you will find these all databases and in the database folder. So on the top of this Object Explorer, you have some menu bar here, file, edit, view, these all. So below that, you will have something called new query. So click here, new query. So you'll get a query window. Let that get created. So you got a query window you can see here, right? You see here, it has got query window. So this is a place where you write your own TC, you write your programming or T-SQL commands. So let me go and this. So you can see the SQL query one dot SQL, and you have something dot master something SA 60 here. SA is the login and 60 is the session ID. Nothing but this window has got some ID 60. If you create new ID, you create new query window. So you got this 71. So each window will have some ID. So this is 71, this is 60. If you go and create a new query, you will get one more session here. This is 72. Like this, you'll get you create go on creating the windows, that query windows, you'll get new query window created and you will get some ID. So first let's go and create a database. Create database. So as I told, DB 150220. So yeah, sorry, 15022025. So this is a command. So now either you press F5, where the function key F5, or you have something called execute command here button. Okay, click on this. Either you press F5 or click on this execute button. I'm pressing on execute button here. So you see the database has got created. So command successfully got created. So when the name of the database that you are taking here, well, for creating a database, if the database is not present in this database folder, then it will create and it will show you like commands completed successfully. So if the database name is already present here, it doesn't allow you to create. Okay, right now let's go and go to this on the left side in the Object Explorer. You have a database folder. Try to refresh this. So here you can see here DB 15022025, right? So you got created. So you can see that the database. So if at all you want to create the database with the same name, which is already present in this database, it doesn't allow you to do it. So this database, which is here in the query window, with that name, you have already just now we created. I'm trying to create once again with the same name. I'm trying to click on execute button. You see, the database already is choose a different name. So it doesn't allow you to create a database. So we created database successfully. We have done. Now, so what happens in the backend? I've told you that these two files would get created, right? Two types of files, that is called primary data file and log data file. So for what purpose that get created? So so in the database we create these all objects, right? So these all objects, we create tables, we put data into the tables, we create constraints, we create functions, store process, views, triggers, and many more. We do it on the database. So those all things would be stored. Whatever you do, you create a table, you insert a data, you update a data, delete a data, truncate a data, or create a function. Those all would be stored in these two files. That is primary data file and log data file. So where are these files getting? Where are these files would be there? Okay, so let's go. So first what you do is, so go to your C drive, program files here. So you'll have Microsoft SQL Server folder. Click on this. So you need to check what is your version. So here you see. So if you see here, the you can see this server name. So you got Adya slash SQL Server 2019, right? So go with that folder. So with that, so you'll have this. Here you have got SS, MS, AS, MS, AS, MS, AS. It's not. So we are working on SQL. So you see here you have MS SQL here, and here you have MS SQL. Here also you have last two code. But here it is MS SQL Server. But here you see MS SQL Server 2019, and here you got MS SQL Server, that is SQL Server 2019 here and SQL Server 2022. But here on what version you are working here, right? So you have 2019, right? Let's go to that. So this will tell you the version here. Okay, click on this. So you will have the version. So I'm working on SQL Server 2000 version. So you click on this. So go to this my MS SQL, that is Microsoft SQL Server. Now go to this data folder. So you see here with today's date you have just now created. So you see this DB 1021, sorry, DB 15022025 dot MDF dot LDF. So you can see the type here, SQL Server database, primary database, SQL Server database, transaction database. So here in Microsoft SQL, you need to figure out what version you are using it here. So I'm using SQL Server 2002. It's not, because here is the server name, right? So I've given the same server name and the instance name as same, but here in this folder you need to figure out, because I've got multiple instances. Even I've got 2022 also, but I'm working on 2019. So in this, in MS SQL, in data, you have got these two files got created. So you have done first step, creating a database. Then we can go and create the different objects. So after this is over video, we'll talk on different types of data types in SQL Server. So if at all you have liked the video, the way I've told you how to create and where do you file, what happens in the background when you create a database. So I've created using the command. So how do you create using? So I've told there are two different ways, right? So using GUI also. So go to the folder, go to your SQL Server. Here you have databases. Click on right click here. Okay. So here you see when you right click, you are getting a menu, contest menu. Click on this. So that is, you clicked on new database here, right? You clicked on right click. So you're saying new database. Click on this. You give some name. So I'll give DB. So 1502 2025-1. I'm giving some name. So you see this logical, as I told you, database create two different types of files. You see here, right? Two different types of files it is going to get created. So that is primary. You see the file type, data file and log file, primary data file and log file, two types of files, right? Now you have given that name, database name, so it is creating with the same whatever the database name I have given. It is taking the logical name also with this, and here you'll have the files getting is going to get created, and it will show you where is this primary data file and log data file getting created. You can see here path it is. So C drive, program files, Microsoft SQL Server, SQL 1.5 SQL, right? MS SQL Server data, right? Click on create. So I'm creating here, right? You can see the data. You can see this database got created, right? I've used GUI. So go to, right? I've created. Now go back to your uh, where the files got created. So we are talking about MDF and deliver, right? Let's go back. So go to this, right? Microsoft SQL Server here. Now your MS SQL. So you'll have data. So you see this two files got created, right? Now? So we created two files. So we didn't create, when we start creating a database, these two files got created. So hope you have understood how to create the database using tsql command and using the GUI also, right? Right. Thank you. Thanks for watching. And if at all you feel like this content is useful for you, please subscribe my video and pass this information to other people so they would get help some technical stuff from this video. Thank you so much.